Hey everybody, I'm Moon and welcome to today's episode of Map Awareness, the show that covers all things League and a bit more. Today we're going to talk about the recent roster changes, the rebirth of elements, and then we have a special guest just for Moo. Roster changes. Normally we go about this in a different way and elaborate on each individual roster change, but since this is a recap and you're a busy person, let's try to do it all in 1 minute. Go! Cloud9. Hai is now a manager and Incarnation is their new mid. TDK. Ninja joins the team as the new mid laner and Emperor joins as the ADC. CLG. Pobelter and Hu join for the mid position and Link leaves. Teammate. History Teacher joins as the head coach and Yen joins as the ADC. Maple Street moves to being a sub for both Teammate and Misfits. Gravity. Cop moves into a coaching position and Alltech moves in as Gravity's new ADC. Now for EU. Fnatic. Reckless rejoins Fnatic as the new AD. Steelback moves to a sub position only to leave and play for Team Odyssey. Origin. Origin picks up Cyanide, Aranea, and Cassadar as new subs. SK Gaming. Interflame and Forgiven leave and Candy Panda rejoins as our new ADC. And that's alright with me because I fucking love pandas. Gambit Gaming. Forgiven becomes Gambit's new ADC and Pinoy leaves for Winter Fox. Elements. Crapo retires and becomes a caster. He was only there for like 5 minutes. JWoww and Promisc join. Dexter and Tabs join the starting roster. And Wicked, Shook, and Reckless leave. Rocket. Steve joins as our top laner. Oh my god, I cannot do this. Though I can't elaborate on every roster change since there are 32, I counted. Something I thought we should touch on is Elements. Elements is by far dealing with the largest scale of roster changes in the professional scene. With everyone on the team leaving Elements, it's amazing that Froggen didn't leap too. Instead, he stayed as the only veteran, hoping to guide the team back to the top spot of the LCS. Elements has, for the most part, chosen a roster full of experienced pros, so hopefully they can bring it together. The new roster includes top laner JWoww, formerly from Meet Your Makers. It also includes Dexter, the one-time jungler for CLG, alongside the legendary Tabs himself, and of course the newcomer by the name of Promisc. Dexter himself stated to Riot Games, "I'm not sure what we'll accomplish in the upcoming split, but our goals are high and we're working very hard." With Promiscuous being the only newcomer on the roster of seasoned veterans, let's hope that he doesn't fold under the pressure. Maybe the team shows a lot of Promisc, as long as he doesn't act promiscuous and fuck his team. Oh man, that was like a really sick burn. Sorry, dude. Now moving back over to the lovely NALCS, we have a recap chat with the terror of the bot lane himself, Aphromoo. Hi Aphromoo, welcome to Map Awareness.
What's up?
So after your guys' games, Reddit wasn't super nice to you and there was a lot of backlash to the community. How did that make you guys feel? Does it affect you at all? Do you hate it? Do you think it's funny? Is it amusing?
Well, for me, since I guess I'm a more veteran player when it comes to criticism, it's amusing to me to go on and read some stuff. Most of the time it hurts, and usually I'm a more empathetic person, so I feel for my teammates, and then I'm like, all right, they're probably reading this too, and it's just really, really bad.
Do you think that it affects your guys' play? Like, is that one of the reasons why throughout the season you said you guys are kind of an emotional team? So do people make mistakes like one time and then they see backlash and they're like, oh, I have to try better next time, and then they end up doing poorly?
I can only speak for myself, but for me, no.
That's good.
But for my teammates, maybe. But I know the most important thing is that some of our teammates didn't feel like everyone believed in them as in our team.
Oh, there's the team
environment.
I see.
After like first couple losses, everyone stopped having the trust that we had at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and then it's hard to
then once we lose, and then everything comes full circle around from what happened last year, where we failed in playoffs again, and then just repeating the same stuff. So obviously it's not a good thing, but as players, there's not much you can do. So really, it's all on management to make the correct decision to make us a better team or fix our problem.
Having to switch your roster around, like the whole entire team has to adjust with them. Has your playstyle been adjusted throughout time a lot?
Yeah. So
does that keep things exciting or is it annoying?
Good example is last season, beginning I played a lot of Playmaker Champions. And then towards the end of the season, I don't know what happened, but we stopped doing that and went away from what our identity was, and then we had no identity. We just tried to copy everybody else. So usually when we lose, people want to instill change, I guess, a lot. And they're really adamant about that. And most of the time it will affect on how we play. So it's like, all right, this team's winning, let's play what they play. All right, trying to integrate it into our play style, and then we just copy mostly every champion that other teams play. And then we're not so good at it when other teams, you know, they've been practicing that for a long time, so they're obviously going to be better.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Sucks.
If you don't think that roster swaps will solve the problems for CLG, how do you feel about other teams and like having integrating new players onto their teams and having problems with it? Do you think that that's what's messing them up, or do you think that it works for some teams and not for other teams?
Depends on structure within the team. So a good example is TSM. They have new players, previous players probably don't cut it, whether it be mentality or play style and how TSM wants to run their team, like mid-centric team, etc. So structure-wise, you have to have management all capable of being aggressive and effective with your players.
Yeah, in order for them to like get in with it, okay?
In order for them to be integrated into your team style. So for CLG, most of the time we have a new player, and then so last season, you know, coach not in the house, can't really be there for emotional balance within the team, stuff like that. So tempers will run high. And then last season, we didn't really have a specific game plan most of the time when it started getting towards the end of the season, where we started falling off, and there wasn't really a focus. It was just everything at once, and we didn't improve on one thing at a time to go into playoffs. So for other teams, you know, maybe they have a better system. So respectively, Cloud9, TSM have always done super well in the past, and they always are able to overcome their problems in, you know, a matter of weeks or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there was a thing that Loco was talking about and how he integrated players like Lesboy, especially with having like the language barriers. He just made him like, he made everyone do a lot to push forward and make them feel comfortable. So it's probably a lot of that too, you're right, like management. Yeah. Do you think that you guys are good friends? Like, do you get along really well with your team? Because it seems like the teams that are really successful throughout time and when things get hard, go through it better, are the teams that are really close with each other. And I don't really know if you guys are super close. Are you close with each other?
For the most part.
Yeah?
It's not like we talk to each other on an emotional level, whether it be with real life problems or anything like that. But on a business level, as players, we respect each other. And then on friends, it's like, all right, we're friends.
We make jokes, we're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, but
No like deep emotional like sentiment.
no. In my opinion though, I think that most successful teams don't really have a great relationship friend-wise.
Oh.
You know, maybe some players, you know, don't agree with someone or hate their personality, but the structure is still there so that they are efficient and effective with their practice time. And then they put that into the game where, you know, you throw all that out of the window to take care of business. And being friends, you know, isn't all that, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah. It's nice to have.
Yeah,
It's a good quality,
thought
but
it'd be more fun maybe, but I guess the more jokes you make, it's like the less time you're being efficient, so.
Exactly.
That's your secret, don't like your teammates. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn.
So recently, there's actually been a really big roster change because C9 is a team that hasn't ever really been about that since they were like Quantic or whatever. They didn't have any roster swaps at all. And then their mid laner High, I mean, it was speculated that this was going to happen. People talked about it. He's officially come out and said that he's not going to be playing for them anymore. How do you feel about that? Do you know anything about who's maybe going to come in, or do you think that this was a good or bad decision from C9 and High?
With it being a good decision, I think High has had wrist problems or something like that. I don't even know what the wrist problems are. But it probably takes away from his play most of the time, and it'll definitely, you know, be a detriment to him in the long run. Maybe, you know, recent Worlds coming up, you never know. So he took it upon himself to leave and allow C9 to get a mid laner who is maybe more mechanically intensive than he is, and who has to fill in his shoes with shot calling. So maybe they'll have a better chance, but it's really impressive to me that he's able to get over his
Pride.
Yeah, get over his pride a little bit and be able to make that decision to better his team.
Yeah, it's really like humbling to see that but a lot of people talked about, I mean, Reggie did that before And, you know, people always say, I don't want to be the reason that things go poorly. And it's actually interesting with him because, like you said, they need to fill his role of not only like his play, like the mid laner, but a shot caller. And the whole team basically is revolved around his shot calling. They do really silly things all the time because of his shot calling, and that's what works. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play with someone else and their play style.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be really fun. It'll be exciting because it's never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in solo queue, it looks like you've been playing a lot of Bard.
What the face? You got a problem with Bard?
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, everyone says how bad he is, but I guess you found a use for him.
Well, most people don't like the concept of Bard leaving lane to go collect his little chimes.
Oh yeah, that's probably a thing. Well, because in solo queue, it's not the same as like professional play.
Yeah.
So people are like, don't leave my lane, I'll die. You know?
Yeah. But I think Bard is great practice for a lot of strategies with the game. So most of the time you see supports go roam to gank mid lane a lot.
Yeah.
Not playing Bard specifically, but we'll go with like Annie with Busboy. You know, he roams a lot.
Yeah, he does that all the time, you're right.
And Bard, you have something to actually collect when you go roam. So it's just, you know, double the efficiency when you do go roam. So it's good practice to do that. Also, you can go through a lot of terrain where you can have gank paths that, you know, people don't really would see and just abuse that. Also, he has a ulti Zanya's.
Yeah, but it's so easy to troll like your team with. Like you can accidentally completely rearrange.
That's true, but that's the best part. And it takes it takes a lot of practice to get good with that ultimate. So
I could see that, yeah.
I played over 100 games with Bard, and now it's really, really fun.
We haven't seen any of him in professional play.
And he's probably the most overpowered support right now.
Whoa.
I'm serious.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't understand how. I just can't get with this concept.
Well, in laning phase, he's not too bad. He does really well against Thresh, Morgana, and he actually countered Black Shield because the effect, his Q hits twice, so it'll stun them anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Black Shield.
I didn't know that.
So in lane, he's really good. So then you practice your roaming as well, because that's what you should do, collect your chimes. And then mid game, it's probably ridiculous just because, you know, support with a ranged initiation, you don't have to get close. And then you can CC two people at once if they, you know, are stacked up on each other.
Yeah.
As well as giving your initiators portals or escaping fights. And then he's probably the best support to chase people out their fights too. So most of the time when people get away from objectives, you see in competitive games, Bard can catch up to them, whereas no other champion can do that ever.
Yeah, that happens pretty often. Dang, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see
it. It just requires a lot of practice, I'm serious.
Yeah, because I don't know. I've only played with a couple of them, and it's been like pure hell. Not a huge fan of him.
I understand.
Yeah, but then again,
Same.
you know,
I've been one of those in my first 5 games. I was like, whoops.
Were you at the accidental, like, oh, you're trying to run away from 4 people?
Ult my team.
Ult my team.
Yeah.
That's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Just not. See, that's another thing. Like, his mistakes seem to be like, they're either, his ult can be very rewarding or it can completely ruin everything.
Basically.
So in professional play, there's a lot to gamble with that.
There is, but gambling's fun. So. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I don't understand. I mean, it sounds great, but I just in my head, I'm just like, no one could do that for us.
All right. Yeah. Hopefully my team will let me play in LCS.
Hopefully.
So then I can show
just
everybody.
ask Peter. I feel like it's really good.
Yeah, he doesn't like Bard right now.
No one likes Bard right now.
Nobody likes Bard
You're
right
the
now.
only one.
So, yeah.
Thank you for watching this. If you liked it, check out more content at skgaming.com.
That's so gay.